Okay, hi everyone. This is Rick speaking again. About to start a new sketch today of Matina. She's a good friend of mine from Greece. So let's just start right away. Okay, so as usual, we're getting the shape of the face. And put our center line down there. That's our eye line. And we get her eyes put in right away. Now, interestingly, Matina is an eye vet, which is a great profession to be in. Taking care of all the animals' eyes and all their cataracts and problems and stuff. So that makes her an ophthalmologist, not an optician, which is a basic schoolboy error. Although I suppose she could be an optician as well, but unlikely with the amount of work involved. I suppose she could be an optician in her spare time, but that's again unlikely. But you get the idea. She does a worthwhile job, and I'm sure everyone's very grateful and appreciative. Good, so we've got her eyes done there, looking good. Just going to go down again to her nose, just following that center line down as usual. If you've been following these, you'll begin to really see the pattern developing now. And while we're doing this, just to remind you, I'm also doing one-on-one caricature tutorials on the Google Hangouts. So if you're able to go to Google Hangouts and dial me up on rick@rickmachinstudios.com, then I can respond and we can set something up. So that's if you've got your own personal character you'd like to draw. And for the kids, maybe mum and dad, or some homework you're working on you might like some help with, just let me know. Okay, so we're getting a big friendly smiley mouth. It's looking nice. And then the last thing of all is her chin at the bottom. Now we're going to just fill in the shape of her face. Do a little bit of rubbing out, again, just to make things easier to read. That's it. Now, this area here is very important, from the brow to the hairline. So this distance, we want to try and get as accurately as possible. So, and if you also notice, her hair is not parted in the center, otherwise it would be on this line. It's slightly over to the left. So we're going to make sure we get that too. These things are, they're all quite important details. So they might seem small at this point, but they are important. Good, so I like this area now. This is looking accurate. That's what we want to do. This point you must get right. Anything outside, if you understand, is not so important, because Matina could be wearing a hat, she could be wearing a swim cap, or she could have a short haircut. All of those things wouldn't affect her hairline and her face. So get this bit right, and you can enjoy exaggerating the rest, or whatever you want to do, really. But if you don't get that right, you'll instantly alter the shape of her face, and it will make her look older or younger, or it just won't be accurate. Alright, so we're doing okay, 4.5 minutes. We're getting a little quicker each time, which is great. That's what I'm aiming for. So I think what I'm going to do now is go back into the eyelashes. Now I've noticed with Matina the lower eyelashes are not nearly as pronounced as they were yesterday with Lauren, if you remember. She had quite dark lashes top and bottom, but Matina's are only really dark on the top, so we're going to be quite careful at the bottom. Otherwise she'll look too made up, which I'm sure is appropriate sometimes, but not if you're operating on a horse's eye or something. You want to be perhaps a little more soberly turned out. But that's just me. Who knows? Okay, so that's all looking very nice. And again, if you have any questions, any suggestions, anything you don't understand, anything you'd like me to review or go over again, I'll be more than happy to do that. So just email me at rick@rickmachinstudios.com and I'll sort that out for you. Yeah, this is looking very nice today. I'm enjoying this one. And once we put the moustache on, it'll look brilliant. I'm only joking, of course. Okay, so we're going to add a bit of shading to the hair. We're up to 7 minutes now, which is great. That's a good time. We're going to do the same as we did with Lauren yesterday. We're going to add a shadow down here that runs in parallel with the hair. And what that does, that just lifts it off the face nicely. And when you're doing hair, the key to doing hair convincingly and quickly is just to simplify. So what you're really looking for is just the growth direction, where the hair begins and where it travels to and where it ends. You're not really thinking about individual strands of hair. You'll just be there all day otherwise, and it'll look, at the end of the day, it'll just look fussy and not so good. So one tip I recommend to my students is to look at shop windows where they have dummies that they hang the clothes on, mannequins as they are. If you look at how the hair is modelled on those plastic mannequins, that's what you're aiming for, is just to imagine it's made of plastic. That's what you're looking for. So try and, next time you're passing a shop, Marks and Spencer's or something like that, have a look in the window and see how those mannequins, male and female, have had their hair modelled. You'd be surprised. That's what you're aiming for. Okay, we're just under 10 minutes, so that's good. And Matina's got a line here which we're going to be very careful, because these lines can make somebody look older. So I'm just going to put, it's not quite a dimple, but I suppose it's something like a dimple. I don't know what they call it in Greece, but Very, very carefully we're going to apply that because we don't want to age her if we can help it. In fact, what I'll do next time, I think, is bring a photograph of one of those mannequins. It might explain in more obviously what I'm trying to do here. There, all done. Right, what I'm going to do now, I think, I'll just put her name up here. Good. So I think I'm going to move this over. You can probably tell my homemade camera system still needs a little bit of refining, but it's getting there gradually. Okay, brilliant. Well, thanks for watching today. I hope you enjoyed today's class, and I'll see you next time. Cheers. Bye.